Ladies and gentlemen, I'm impressed. Thank you for being here and for your interest shown to the issue. I stand here before you as a representative of ADPA. It's an association of people working in long-term care centers. There are over 2,000 in France. Our mission is to accompany the most vulnerable people in our society, the elderly and their families, and all the employees that deal with them every day. We are fully aware of the courage it takes to protect the rights of the elderly, to make sure that they are respected. Rightly said by Gerard Larcher, the President of the French Senate, there are no citizens on hold. I mean, that's in theory, because in real we marginalize older people. We put them in a separate category. Our elderly citizens have the right to the same dignity and liberty as others, and that's the crux of what we're doing. I'd like to give you an overview of the elderly care sector in France. Like in many European countries, as we could see today from the morning, France is facing the aging of society. Around 80.5 and 79 years, 85 years and 79 years of life expectancy for men and women. So people live ever longer. They face a situation when they need to be accompanied in a special way. They need to receive special care. Let me give you some facts and figures, painted by the numbers, to give you the picture of France. 21 million in 6 years, 1/3 of French people. So 21 million French will be over 65 years of age. Are we ready for this? Are we ready to provide care for them? No. 9 billion euro, this is what we're missing every year. 9 billion euro to provide the right care in the best conditions for the elderly in France. Are we ready for that? Will we have the money? No. Minus 25%. That's the number of graduates from nursing schools. We're also dramatically missing physicians. Now, talking about the administrative staff in care institutions, 0.6% per resident. We need to have more people. 20%, that's the share of households that are suffering with financial difficulty. 6.7%. There's 3 times more of work accidents in these services at patients' homes, and 80% of facilities providing home care in 2023 suffered from serious deficits, which is true for all the sectors and everybody who's working with the elderly. France has all kinds of facilities providing care for the elderly. These are all kinds of homes, specialized medical facilities that provide constant medical care and nursing care, but there's always a deficit, especially from the point of view of quality of life that they ensure. And as far as financing is concerned, we have independent living facilities for people who earn more, who they provide more freedom and some independence. This is like a middle solution between autonomy and safety. And then we have long-term care units. These are more hospital-like structures that provide care for people who are completely dependent at the end-of-life stage. Very complex units directly connected with hospitals. There are also palliative care units. There are very few of them in France. This slide shows you the change in the number of facilities by category. Since the year 2003, retirement homes were changed into nursing homes, and we have over 7,500 of them. This shift in policy was accompanied by the growing deficit of funds and resources. %44 of long-term care units are owned by the self-government or are state-owned. 31% are owned by non-profit associations, and the remaining 25% are private for-profit facilities. I mean, these are the existing structures, facilities.
The part that's not visible is home care. And this is what we have in all countries. Most elderly people in France prefer to live at home, which is about the fact that they are used to their habits and their family environment. They have various systems available, like the SAD assistance. This is assistance with daily activities at home. There are also nursing services at home. So those are nurses that visit patients in their homes to help patients who also receive care from their family members. There's also a possibility for meal delivery. Sometimes it's the only opportunity to have contacts with any other people during the day. So these are things that make the patients' lives easier. As you can see, with regard to providing services at their place of residence for frail people or for elderly people, until in 2023, there were 231 million hours. That's thousands of years of working 24/7. That's just to illustrate the figures. As for services provided at the patient's place of residence, most of them are provided by associations, but also local governments. However, local governments mostly focus on elderly people. And private companies, their activities also cover activities at home or around home, for example, gardening works. Old age has its price tag. Fortunately, in France, the state has a service called ADPA, that is a special service for the autonomy of elderly people. This money is delivered or administered by regional governments, departments, and more than 1,400,000 people use this benefit. This is from 10 to 900 euros per month, depending on the needs. 70% of beneficiaries are women, and this benefit is paid for 3.5 years on average. We understand that when people cease to receive this benefit, it simply means that they are deceased. These payments are made to people who stay at home, because in case of previously mentioned services, the state pays for all the medical services. Here we need to face various challenges. The costs are rising, resources, both on the part of families and of the state, are increasingly insufficient. So we need to rethink the financing systems to provide the relevant quality of these services. The average retirement, the average retirement pension is 1,400 euros, and the cost to stay in the facility is on average 3,100 euros. We have a significant drop of the state's share in the cost in the budgets of various facilities, and this is related to the development of long-term care facilities. Here we can see the share of the state budget as a percentage of GDP. We can assess the country according to the way it takes care of its elderly people, and France has still a long way to go. And let's take a look at the expectations, various expectations of various stakeholders. We want individual to be at the center of interest. It has to be respected as an individual, as a citizen. We need to respect their dignity. It's not just about providing care, but it is also about participating in the decisions on things that apply to them. So this is about dignity, in contrast to ageism. We need to have an attitude towards old age as a period of life that is rich in experiences and provides some contribution to the society. So we need to ensure mental balance for these people, so we need to take good care of our elderly people, both in family structures and other structures aimed at that person. In 2009, in France, there was a consultation process on aging. 1,700,000 French citizens took part in the consultation, and the conclusions were to strengthen home support, to improve the quality and reception in care facilities, to provide better support to caregivers, to improve the working conditions of caregivers, to reduce the costs of support, to improve access to healthcare, and to develop alternative housing solutions. And what are the expectations of employees of medical and of healthcare and social care institutions? They work in very difficult conditions, with a lot of effort, with shortage of staff, and these are issues that that appear all the time, and only the COVID crisis and the shortage of staff demonstrated how important these services are. And it is important to enhance these services, both with regard to improvement and raising the salaries, but also in terms of social recognition, to ensure a good future for this sector. And the medical and social care facilities and structures are focused, both public and private, are focused on sanitary issues, and we need to, this model is coming to its end. We need a new global support model that will take into account not only medical needs, but also aspirations of individuals to live in a safe and person-oriented environment. It is an interesting alternative to create alternative housing facilities or residences, providing certain freedom for residents. 15 years ago, there were not many of them. There's about 1,000 of them right now. We have a residence or residential center that I am the head of.
On garde son identité. Moi, je suis restée Madame Torun, même si on ne sort plus beaucoup à l'extérieur parce qu'on est fatigué, parce que le temps ne s'y prête pas, on sort de chez soi pour aller au restaurant. Et l'avantage du restaurant, non seulement la brigade cuisine fait bien son travail, mais on y rencontre d'autres personnes, c'est-à-dire que la vie continue. On y mange bien, on y trouve des activités qui aident à ne pas s'ennuyer et très rapidement. Quand on est ici, on s'acclimate et on est bien.
I did not pay the lady to say all that. She did not even know that she would be filmed. So now as a conclusion, of course the expectations of the elderly people and employees of institutions are numerous, but this only increases our responsibility because we need to respect the fact that these people are citizens. We need to listen to their opinions and we should not make decisions for them. And we should also offer the kind of working conditions for the staff at the facilities so that they feel appreciated. And we need to ensure better life for the residents. For example, requirements of increased staffing, but this would require more investment. So an hourly rate for working at home, for home care, should be higher. It has been a problem for many years. In my department, at the end of the year, last year, there were 26 services provided at home. It used to be much more in the past. So we do not have enough people who are willing to do that. We need to fight for this funding in order to ensure dignity for these people, to ensure a good future for this sector, and our association is working towards that, to focus on ensuring good, dignified aging for the patients, and we should move from a medical-oriented culture towards a citizen-oriented culture. So this is our responsibility, this is our commitment, and I would like to encourage everyone working in this sector to cooperate with us, to come up with new ideas, with innovation that will help our citizens live a dignified life. Thank you very much.
Szanowni Państwo, czy ktoś z Państwa chciałby dopytać?
Ladies and gentlemen, is there anyone who would like to ask any questions regarding the last presentation? I do have a question. The question that I have is related to the component that was presented in the second part of your presentation. And there was a slide with 7 conclusions on transforming the services in order to improve their quality. And 6 of them were obviously related to person-centered care. But in the middle, there was reducing the cost of support. So how can you strike the balance? And did you manage to develop system solutions to help cope with the financial pressure while improving the quality of services? I think that this financial pressure exists in all countries. In France, we have a social care system allowing for every French citizen to receive treatment free of charge due to the fact that they pay taxes, and there is less problems related to financial balance. And we have most care homes where we have people who receive just normal care. And, if they do not have any serious diseases, they do not require medical assistance. and medical personnel. But we need a certain number of caregivers, doctors, or nurses, and it all has its cost. So we need a certain flexibility, and we need to find the silver bullet to reduce the cost. So, for example, I mentioned that the monthly cost of staying at the facility was 3,100 euros on average. This was just about accommodation in the care homes. Everything applicable to medical care, to healthcare, is paid for by the state, and there is a huge cost on the part of the state. Thank you.